The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Orathai Sitthichan. Chapter 7. Tom and Huck Swear an Oath. The two boys flew on and on towards the village, speechless with horror. They glanced backwards over their shoulders from time to time, as if they feared that they might be followed. "If we can only get to the old mill before we break down," gasped Tom. "I can't bear this much longer." Huckleberry's heavy breathing was his only reply. At last they burst through the open door of the old mill, and fell, grateful and exhausted, in the sheltering shadows. After a time their breathing became regular, and Tom said, "Huck, what do you think will happen? If Dr. Robinson dies, Redskin Joe will be hanged." Tom thought for a moment and then said, "Who will tell? We? What are you talking about? If we do and Redskin Joe isn't hanged, why he'll kill us sometime or other. As sure as we are lying here, if anybody tells, let Porter do it. If he's foolish enough, he's generally drunk enough." Tom went on thinking and then asked, "Huck, how can Porter tell? He doesn't know anything about it." "Why doesn't he know?" "Porter couldn't see anything. He'd just been stern when Redskin Joe struck the doctor with his knife." "That's so, Tom." After another thoughtful silence, Tom asked, "Huck, are you sure that you can't keep quiet about it?" "Tom, we must, you know that. If we tell people what we have seen, and if that the village half-blade escapes hanging, he'll down us just as if we were a couple of cats. Now, Tom, we must swear to each other to keep our mouths shut." "I agree, Huck. It's the best thing. Shall we just hold hands and swear that we—" "Oh, no, that wouldn't do for this. That's good enough for ordinary thing, but there ought to be writing about a big thing like this, and blood." Tom highly approved of this idea. It was deep and dark, and although all the circumstances and the surroundings suited it, he picked up a clean, flat piece of wood that lay in the moonlight, took the end of a pencil out of his pocket, got the moonlight on his work, and with his tongue between his teeth wrote these lines: "Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer swear that they will keep their mouths shut about this, and that they may drop dead in their tracks if they ever tell." Huckleberry was filled with admiration of the ease with which Tom wrote and of the superior style of his language. Then Tom unwound the thread for one his needle, and each boy picked his thumb and pieced out a drop of blood. In time, by pressing over and over again, Tom managed to sign the letters T and S using the end of his little finger for a pen. Then he showed Huckleberry how to make an H and an F, and the oath was complete. They pressed the piece of work close to the wall with some mournful ceremonies and charms, and the chains that bound their tongues were considered to be looked and the key thrown away. Then they separated. When Tom crept in at the bedroom window, the night was almost ended. He undressed with excessive caution, and fell asleep congratulating himself that nobody knew of his absence. He wasn't aware that Sid had been awake for an hour. When Tom awoke, Sid had dressed and gone. There was a late look in the light. He was startled. Why had he not been called? In a few minutes he was downstairs, feeling stiff and sleepy. The family were still at the table, but they had finished breakfast. His aunt did not blame him, but sat with downcast eyes. Tom began his breakfast in gloomy silence. After breakfast, his aunt took him aside, wept over him, and asked him how we could break her old heart so by his bad behavior. She told him that she had given up hope of making him a good boy. This was worse than a dozen whippings, and Tom's heart was sore now than his body. He cried back for forgiveness and promised over and over again not to misbehave. When he was finally dismissed, he felt that she had little confidence in his promises and that she had not forgiven him entirely. He felt too miserable to take his revenge against Sid, so Sid speedy retreat through the back gate was unnecessary. At school, while he was being punished with Joe Harbour for staying away the day before, he looked as if he did not care what happened to him. He sat down, rested his elbows on his desk and his jaws in his hands, and stared at the wall with the stony stare of suffering that has reached the limit and can go no further. His elbow was pressing against some hard substance. After a long time he slowly and steadily changed his position and took up this object with a sigh. It was wrapped in paper. He unwrapped it. A sigh from the very depths followed, and his heart broke. It was his spare's door handle. This last door broke and Carmel's back.